Warning: the story you are about to hear is not for the squeamish. If you fully understand, then proceed at your own discretion. Gather round, dear listeners, as we plunge into a tale spun from the darkest threads of Craigslist, a portal not just to bargains, but to a realm of shadow and madness. This three-part saga will lead you through a chilling transformation, where a seemingly innocent ad spirals into a nightmare of flesh and fear. You're about to witness a terrifying journey that delves deep into the psyche of a man consumed by an obsession to transcend his human form. Brace yourselves for an encounter that blurs the line between reality and the grotesque, where the haunting melody of transformation plays on the strings of the unimaginable. This is The Craigslist Transformation, a story where the echoes of the unthinkable will linger long after the last note has faded.
Part 1. I'm still traumatized by what happened when I answered that Craigslist ad. That night, I never imagined terror could masquerade in a Craigslist guise, offering $10,000 for mere company. No strings attached, they said. Just 6 hours. Who wouldn't chase such a whisper of fortune? His handshake was firm, unsettlingly so. The house was a plain suburban cage, walls echoing middle-class echoes, nothing more. His fridge boasted an array of micro-brews, the good stuff. My fingers curled around a Dogfish Head 90 as he led me to the basement, proclaiming it our workspace. There, amidst the sparse decor, loomed an old dentist's chair, ominous, out of place. A gray cloth concealed tools beside it. His smile didn't reach his eyes as he handed me an envelope. $5,000 in advance, the remainder promised post-completion. It'll only be a few hours, he assured. His request was simple, horrific. I want you to pull out all my teeth. Beneath the cloth lay pliers, a hammer, gardening gloves, a tableau of madness. No questions, he demanded. Just actions. How does one refuse, surrounded by the bizarre, enticed by greed? His mouth opened, a gape of pristine teeth, an abyss calling. I swallowed the rest of my beer, liquid courage, and he suggested I fetch another. I ascended, surrounded by the cold comfort of bottles, my mind a whirlwind of disbelief. Yet I returned, laden with alcohol, descending once more into that basement of despair. I donned the gloves, their texture a grim prelude. The first tooth, a solid fortress in his jaw, resisted. A beastly tug, a crunch of enamel. The tooth yielded, a grotesque trophy in my trembling grip. Blood, a stark contrast on the white, trickled from the void left behind. Each subsequent extraction became a ritual of horror. The basement air grew thick with the iron scent of blood. His eyes, vacant, watched the ceiling, body unnervingly still except for the occasional twitch of pain. Top teeth, then bottom, each one a surrender to the escalating nightmare. Molars were fortresses that required the hammer's persuasion. I wielded it, each strike a chorus of shattering enamel, his muffled sighs punctuating the ghastly symphony. Finally, only the wisdom teeth remained, those stubborn relics. Standing on the chair, pliers in hand, I pulled with a desperate strength, rewarded only by the grotesque sound of roots tearing free. Done. His grin was a massacre, a hollowed ruin dripping with crimson. He handed me the final envelope, his movements slow, deliberate. As I counted the blood-stained bills, he reached for the shoebox on the table. Spiders, a nightmare's flourish. They scurried up his arm, disappearing into the cavern of his ruined mouth. They tickle, he said, a grotesque chuckle bubbling through the blood. I ran, the echo of his laughter a specter that haunts the hollows of my nights. The money, a cursed remnant of a night When greed entwined with horror lies untouched, a testament to the terror that Craigslist can conceal. Every shadow whispers, every silence a scream in the aftermath of the ad that should have been left unanswered. Part 2, The Transformation, complete, a year and a gruesome invitation later. A little over a year since the macabre ballet in that suburban basement, an email shattered the fragile calm I'd stitched together. He wanted me back, his words inked in digital gold, $250,000 to step into the abyss once more. The sum flickered before my eyes, a monstrous temptation. No more debts, no more crumbling life, just one more dance with the devil. I agreed, a part of my soul screaming in silent protest. The next morning found me at his doorstep again, his grin flashing dentures, a grotesque mask of normalcy. His silhouette framed in the doorway, still svelte, impeccably dressed, health radiating off him like a sick joke. He gestured to the fridge, the promise of familiar comforts. Clutching a Burton baton, I felt the liquid courage seep coldly down my throat. The basement awaited, unchanged yet hauntingly different. No spiders awaited beneath the cloth this time, just cold, hard tools. The chair bore the stains of our previous encounter, a testament to the horrors already inflicted. Pulling my teeth was just the beginning, he declared, a chilling smile playing on his lips. Today, we transform me into a gecko lizard. My mind reeled at the absurdity, each word a hammer blow to sanity. Geckos have different dental structures, he continued, oblivious to the horror contorting my face. Today, it's not just about teeth, but my entire face. The tools of torment were displayed: pliers, hammer, chisel, and chillingly metallic pins, his new teeth. Everything you need to finish the job is upstairs, he said, pointing to a duffel bag bulging with currency. With a heavy heart, I ascended, alcohol my only ally in this descent into madness. The money was real, every bill a whisper of freedom. I returned, loaded with liquid courage, to find him reclined, his mouth an open grave waiting for its morbid ornaments. I started hesitantly, the pins needing to be hammered deep into his gums, each strike a symphony of crunches, the metal sinking into flesh and bone. Blood, a constant companion, pooled and dripped. One errant blow, and I shattered bone and nerve. His lack of response was more terrifying than any scream. With the spikes in place, his smile was a horrifying array of metal, each point a testament to this unholy transformation. My beer ran out, and the need for more saw me upstairs once more. Each step away from the basement was a respite, each return a descent back into hell. When I returned, his latest demand awaited. "Geckos don't have noses like us," he stated, handing me the chisel and hammer. The tool bit into skin with ease, and with a brutal swing, his nose was gone, severed, leaving a bloody void. His ears followed, the chisel slicing through flesh like it was air. He transformed before my eyes into something unrecognizable, monstrous, yet oddly serene. Rising from the chair, he vanished around a corner, his voice echoing back, "Don't forget your money." Curiosity, that damn trait, led me to follow. Around the corner, an enormous terrarium housed him among rocks and sand. Spiders and scorpions filled his hands, each one disappearing into his mouth, crunched between those metal spikes. The sight was nauseating. the crunching a soundtrack to this new nightmare. He pressed his face against the glass, his voice muffled but clear. Next time, we finish. What that meant, I didn't want to ponder. I grabbed the duffel bag, each step away from that house, a step closer to a semblance of sanity. Yet I knew, deep down, this was far from over. Part 3, The Final Descent, Shadows of Madness. Greetings, readers. I am Rudolph Baylor, and I pen this somber continuation from an account not originally my own. For clarity, please refer to the preceding tales shared under my partner's name, a mere prelude to tonight's grim narrative. In what feels like a lifetime now dissolved into the murky past, I was Rudolph Baylor, a successful day trader who thrived in the volatile infancy of the euro. Yet wealth, as it turned out, was merely a prelude to a deeper existential malaise, a life rich in material, yet impoverished in purpose. In an attempt to fill this void, my journey through countless digital pages led me to an unusual fixation: herpetology, with a poignant focus on gecko lizards. This peculiar obsession stemmed not from mere fancy, but a profound sense of dissonance within my own skin, a feeling that I later identified as body dysmorphia, though of a very rare form, one that transcended human boundaries and identified with another species entirely. In the absence of understanding from a society bound by its rigid norms, I turned to Craigslist, not out of desperation, but a calculated step towards what I believed was my true transformation. My actions, narrated previously through the experiences shared by my unwitting partner, were but steps on this path. And now, to why I write under his account, after our last encounter, I followed him, subdued him, and have since initiated the next phase of our transformation in the solitude of his apartment, which now serves as an impromptu surgical theater. The screams that fill these decaying walls are not just echoes of physical pain, but the audible manifestation of societal shackles breaking. As I write, he lies bound on the kitchen table, a tableau of transformation not yet complete. His reactions, a blend of terror and confusion, mirror the expected response of one suddenly awakened to a deeper, albeit forced, enlightenment. My earlier modifications were mere child's play compared to tonight's agenda. His teeth, those stubborn molars, yielded to my tools with a grotesque yet satisfying surrender. But physical alteration alone is insufficient for true metamorphosis. Tonight, I venture into uncharted biological re-engineering. The goal is a makeshift cloaca, an ambitious attempt to replicate the singular waste elimination system of a gecko. Such a transformation requires not just surgical precision, but a radical rethinking of human anatomy, a feat not supported by my cursory medical knowledge, but driven by necessity and a profound conviction in the inevitability of my evolution. As I prepared to reroute his urethra, the inadequacy of his anatomy became painfully apparent. His size, significantly less than my own, presented unforeseen challenges. Nonetheless, determination is the mother of invention. Using a household vegetable peeler, I began the delicate process of skin removal, a procedure met with agonizing screams that seemed to underscore the gravity of our undertaking. His consciousness ebbed as I manipulated his urethra, now exposed and vulnerable, stretching beyond its natural confines towards a destiny neither of us fully understood. The sounds of his suffering, though disturbing, are a necessary chorus to the symphony of transformation we compose together. I paused only to document these events, ensuring that our journey is understood, if not accepted, by those who might stumble upon our story. My research continues as I seek the safest method to complete the urethral rerouting. The final stages of our transformation loom, daunting yet inevitable, as dawn creeps upon the horizon, casting light on the unspeakable acts committed in the name of evolution. I prepare to continue. This account, a testament to both our suffering and our resolve, will likely find its conclusion in the coming hours. May those who find these words understand the burden of transformation, the exquisite pain of rebirth into a form that transcends the mundane cage of flesh and bone. The journey is not yet complete, and as the world awakens to the light of a new day, so too shall we rise, transformed, transcendent, terrible.